Okay, we're going to go over all the players you should be avoiding for fantasy football this season. We'll just get started. First round is going to be tough because it's like all these guys. Derrick Henry's ranked crazy high in here. He's not going to go this high in draft. So like if you get Derrick Henry at a better price, of course I wouldn't avoid him. If it was 7, then yeah, I would say no, definitely don't do that. But he's not going to go this high. My first player would be Devon Achane, and the thing about Devon Achane, he is very good. Like last season for fantasy, he was the RB5, 1,300 rushing yards, 500 receiving yards, 12 total touchdowns. Like he was very good. The problem is Miami is just going to be so bad. I'm not a type of dude to try to predict injuries. That's just like not really how I believe in playing fantasy football. But the workload they're gonna have to try and put on him for a guy of his frame is a little scary in terms of like injuries. When Devon Achane is very small, I would be a little worried, even though I don't like playing fantasy that way. But regardless, like the Dolphins team is just so bad. This offense is gonna suck. Malik Willis, I don't think he's gonna check down as much as a Tua. Obviously not. I don't actually think it'll be close. Malik Willis is a scrambling type of QB. Scrambling QBs tend to take off instead of throwing the check down. And that's a lot of Devon Achane's fantasy game, is getting those checkdowns from Malik Willis. Malik Willis might steal rushing touchdowns as well. I don't think they're going to throw for as many yards. I don't think their offense is going to move the ball down the field as much. It's just at that price, it's way too high for Devon Achane. I like Devon Achane, but when you get the Malik Willis, less checkdowns, less yards in the offense, less touchdowns in the offense, and if there was anyone to be concerned about with injury, small frame, it's like I don't want to put that out there. Knock on wood. Hopefully he doesn't. But I'm just saying I would 100% avoid Devon Achane. There's so many players that I would rather have in this range. So, yeah, definitely not drafting Devon Achane. So I don't know what this ranking is on Sleeper. I probably should try to find a new one when I do this. Well, when I do my mocks, I just do ESPN. But Kyron is never going this high. But I do want to briefly touch on Kyron Williams. I wouldn't say avoid. I would not say that, but I would say be cautious of the price. And here's my reasoning. One, Blake Corum. I think Blake Corum is going to have a huge role. Had a huge role last year, especially towards the second half of the season. Blake Corum's role just increased. I think Blake Corum's a really good player. That, for one, I mean, that's going to take away a lot of stuff. Now, on the positive end, what you could argue is that the Rams' defense is going to be a lot better, which will probably lead to them having more blowout games, which should lead to Kyron Williams being able to get more carries. But I don't know. Blake Corum also will get a lot of those carries as well. Devontae Adams also steal a ton of touchdowns in the red zone. The Rams like to throw a ton in the red zone. Tight ends will get touchdowns in the red zone. Puka Nacua will get touchdowns in the red zone. It's like Kyron's touchdowns are going to drop. Blake Corum's going to steal some. So it's just like I could see a world where Kyron doesn't have a ton of yards, like maybe hovering around 1,000, because Blake Corum, they're just splitting drives. I could see where Kyron Williams has a poor touchdown season because there's so many touchdowns and the touchdowns are so spread out. Hold on. God, my nose is like, ugh. But I don't know. I would be a little concerned about Kyron Williams for just that alone. I'm not saying avoid, because I still think he could bring some value, but I just like the people. Well, he's not going to go 13, but even when I think he's projecting like the 30s usually, even that, like I would be slightly concerned. Jeremiah Love is the next one. For me, with him, it's like talented player, was drafted so high. Arizona's offense is just not good. I think they're going to be more heavily into the passing game as well. I don't think their offensive line is great. There's been reports that they're not trying to give Jeremiah Love a huge workload. They're gonna split the carries between Love, it's James Conner. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm forgetting the third. I know the third. You know what? There's no point. We're just gonna look. Cardinals depth chart. Because for whatever reason, I'm forgetting. Tyler Algier. Yeah, gosh, I knew that. I think Tyler. Oh, speaking of Tyler Algier, he could steal touchdowns. James Conner could steal touchdowns. I already don't think Jeremiah Love's going to get crazy workload on an offense that isn't great. This price, I would just want to steer away. Like, I would rather have Chase Brown. Like, I would rather have him or Saquon, or you know what I'm saying. Like, even Josh Jacobs, I would probably rather have. That's actually close, but Kenneth Walker, I'd probably rather have. And then it's pushing it after that. But let's go back. Let's go back to where we were. I wouldn't avoid any of these guys. Wouldn't avoid. Breece Hall's interesting. I wouldn't say I'd avoid him, but again, Jets offense, they still have Braylon Allen. Be a little cautious at this price, but I wouldn't avoid for sure. Bucky Irving, I'm definitely avoiding. Injury concern. He didn't look great. Split backfield problem. I don't know. I'm just I would definitely be cautious of Bucky Irving. I like people. Like, I like Javonte Williams way more. So I'd be a little cautious. I've been saying avoid Malik Neighbors. The reports I've been seeing recently have been suggesting like a decent optimism for Malik Neighbors in this injury. But then I also was hearing videos like doctors and stuff like that of definitely don't be optimistic about Malik Neighbors, and it will take him some time to ramp up, and it's not looking great. So I don't know. At this point, I'm probably avoiding Malik Neighbors, but if you see the reports and you feel good about it, go for it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say to not draft Malik Neighbors. Henderson is not going this high, but I'm avoiding TreVeyon Henderson personally. I don't really see why it'd be much different to last year. I just don't. Like, Ramondre Stevenson's the better pass blocker. TreVeyon Henderson will probably play a lot of third downs, but early downs is probably Ramondre. Has some big playability, but I don't know. I'm not gonna ever draft TreVeyon Henderson, even if he's a lot lower than this. Terrell McMillan's another guy I'm just probably not drafting. It's just like, you can't trust a Bryce Young-led offense. That's pretty much it. Especially if like Jalen Coker gets more involved. They want to run the ball a lot. He's just going to be so off and on. He didn't miss a game last year. He's like wide receiver 15, but if he does miss a game, it's like, the price he's at is just no way. Like, no way I don't pick Garrett Wilson or T. Higgins or like any of these guys for AJ, or even like below him. Like, well, I don't like Luther Burden or Jalen Waddle, but like Devontae Adams, Ladd McConkey, Zay Flowers, Devontae Smith, Emeka Egbuka, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans. Like, I would rather have all those people instead of Terrell McMillan. So that's just me. Luther Burden, another guy I'm avoiding. He's so high for some reason. He wasn't very productive last year. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I know Ben Johnson drafted him, wasn't very productive. I know DJ Moore's gone, but it's just like, I don't know. At this price, he hasn't proved anything. Like, what are we talking about? And sophomores, it's not always, like, progression is certainly not linear. Sophomores don't always just have a jump. So I don't know where this like optimism and confidence people have in Luther Burden is coming from. RJ Harvey's never going to go this high. I'm not even going to talk about it because that's just a weird ranking for him. I mentioned Jalen Waddle. I don't mind Jalen Waddle. I won't draft him, but I'm not going to put him as the avoid. I just think like him and Cortland Sutton are going to be so similar, and they're not ranked like that. So that's like my only reasoning. Jesus Christ, my nose is just plugged, man. I'm personally not getting Jameson Williams, but he's not necessarily an avoid. I just wanted to touch on that. DJ Moore, I don't want anything a part of the Bills offense personally. So I would not. Well, nothing. Actually, no, nothing besides James Cook and Josh Allen. I don't want a receiver in the Bills offense. Too spread around. Kyle Monangai, that's just too high. He doesn't actually go this high. These sleeper rankings are just cooked. Christian Watson, I probably wouldn't draft. He's kind of similar to like Luther Burden. Like, he just got the contract, so I guess it's a little different. He hasn't proved anything. I don't want Chuba Hubbard really. Like, look where Cortland Sutton going compared to Jalen Waddle. Like, to me, that's crazy. I'm trying to look. Like, a lot of these people, once you get down here, it's like hard to say avoid, right? there's like one more thing I wanted to do, but there's not really a lot of like straight up avoids in this range. Okay, so last thing I just wanted to go to QBs and tight ends separately and just talk about them, like what I'm thinking. So for me, right, Lamar Jackson isn't actually ranked this high, at least not on ESPN. He's actually near like a Daniels, a May, a Hurts, and a Lamar. I would way rather have Lamar than May because like May statistically could drop, and he's not the same runner as a Daniels or a Hurts or a Lamar. So like I would rather have the running, especially if like statistically I don't think he's gonna have another that type of MVP type of season. You know what I'm saying? Other than that though, it's like all the Jackson Dart is cool. Like he gets some upset. I love Herbert. Caleb Williams, I probably would avoid honestly because I would rather have Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes. Even like Brock Purdy's a solid option. Even Stafford's a solid option. Even like Jared Goff's a solid option. Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield. Like, yeah, okay. So really, the only QBs I would like say to avoid. Me personally, I would say I'm not picking Drake May. Not at the price. I'm probably not picking Jackson Dart because I just like these other guys, and I'm not drafting Caleb Williams. That's what I would say for the QB position. Other than that, like I think you're good. And then at the tight end position, I'm probably not drafting Colston Loveland. Realistically, it's just hard to trust this Bears offense. I think if you are going to draft between Luther, Rome, or Colston, you probably go with Colston. It's just so unpredictable right now. Like they're just all predicted to have like the same type of seasons. Very hard to predict. And maybe they do all have similar seasons, and they're all just going to be like, So I would steer clear of Colston Loveland like at this price, especially because I like Tucker Kraft, Harold Fannin. Like I like dudes like that. Kyle Pitts, I'm always avoiding. I just don't think he's a great player. I know people glaze Kyle Pitts because he's like, I don't know where it comes from, but like I'm not drafting Kyle Pitts. Tyler Warren, I don't know how I feel about Tyler Warren. Like I want to say like he's not bad. I don't know how much I love the Colts, but Daniel Jones has come back. So no, I'm not gonna say avoid Tyler Warren. I probably would rather just get like Tucker Kraft later, but Laporta's cool. Don't draft Kincaid. Do not draft Dalton Kincaid. That's an avoid. Do not draft Dalton Kincaid. I wouldn't draft Gadsden either. I would just like wait for Goddard at that point. Juwan Johnson's a solid option late. Same with Strange. Travis Kelce's a good option late. Isaiah Likely's a decent option. Even like AJ Barner's not a horrible option late. Chiggy Okonkwo, not a bad option late. So yeah, I would just wait on tight end like or if you like McBride or Bowers and you really want them, go get them. These middles like Loveland, Warren, I just avoid, especially Loveland though. And then like if you really like, I really like Tucker Kraft, but if you really like Harold Fannin, I would rather just have Tucker Kraft, better offense, probably better player, actually definitely better player in a better offense, and you get him later. So like, if I was to give advice, I would say try to get Tucker Kraft on your team. But yeah, like in terms of avoiding, that's probably what I would say. I don't want this video to be like crazy long because there's like, I don't want to be super negative, and I think this is good. I think I touched on the people that I want to touch on, the people that I really said like you should avoid. And yeah, this could be shorter for sure because in my players you should draft this. I think that was like 30 minutes. There is no way this video is 30 minutes. But yeah, I mean those are my avoids. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of players who are like in betweeners who are like, I'm not saying avoid, but I'm not necessarily saying draft. They're kind of just like, depends how you feel. If you want to know more of my opinions on those type of in-between players, I could make a video. Well, at some point, I'm going to do my rankings, so wait for that. Wait for that video if you want more of like a in-depth talk about everyone, because at some point, I'm going to do my rankings. That video is going to be very, very long. And like mock drafts. I do mock drafts on the channel. I already have 2 out. I'm going to keep doing more. I would tune into those because I discuss the options that I'm looking at in the draft. So it's just like more in-depth process to players that I'm seeing. And because this is just like a do not draft list. So I think that's going to do it though. Leave a like. Check out there's going to be videos down here somewhere. Check that out. subscribe, man. Subscribe. Well, I'm just starting this channel, so anyone that subscribed is super cool. I love seeing it. Like, I remember we went from 2 to 3. I checked. I gained one singular subscriber, and I was like, fuck yeah, man. I mean, someone got subscribed. We gonna keep growing it here, though. I know if I just stay consistent, we keep working, it's gonna happen. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I'm out. Peace.